recording on. And let's see what we got today. So, of course, we got Siebel stuff to talk about. And that's 23.12. Let's kick it off with the usual review of the latest Siebel update. So, as is the custom here. I'm going to start the show. So there are a few things that Oracle delivered in 23.12. One of the most notable is the Web Tools feature named Script Profiler, which is an existing feature in Siebel Tools and now moved or copied over to Web Tools. Then there's an environment variable to talk about, TLS 1.3 support. The MDE behaves differently. If you haven't done your update yet, be prepared for that. And we have Tomcat 9082 with 23.12. So the security people will love that information. So that script profiler, Nick C, we talked about scripting. So your preferred script environment is probably Web Tools, no? Because it's in the browser and super cool. And if it was Siebel Tools, there is a script profiler, which gives you the response time of each, down to each line of code during debugging. And now that has been included in Web Tools. So you can do the similar settings. There's a new enable flag. Sorry for that. A new enable flag in the debugging settings. Then you have a set profile rules. You can set the wildcard thingy, which lines and methods to actually monitor more or less. And then you start your debugging session. And once you have a few debugging sessions under your belt, you get well, here I get 0 milliseconds, very fast script. But the call count, I called that 8 times in total. That's of course that's a standard business service, by the way, which also got updated in Siebel 23.12. The notorious one that returns a carriage return line feed now also returns just a line feed. What a feature! Okay. Yeah, if you have any comments, anything to say, yeah, please shout out. Microphones are open. And that one is a documentation update. So there is a environment variable, which, as I found out, has been mentioned on Oracle support a lot, and now it's documented in the Performance Tuning Guide 23.12 and higher. It goes by the name of Siebel SRB send resp timeout. That's the server request broker send response timeout. And the server request broker, you know, that's the component that really holds the room together between Siebel servers. And that could experience some hangs. And if those hangs occur, administrators previously just had to, you know, kill it and restart it. But now you can set that environment variable. Oracle recommends 5 seconds, and that will basically monitor the timeouts, and in case a timeout is detected, there's a log entry. So you can look into your log files and watch out for messages. And if those messages occur, you're likely suffering from an SRB hang. So it's a very, I don't know if anybody of you has ever encountered that situation. I haven't.
I haven't.
Yeah, but good to know there's now, as the Siebel bookshelf gets updated and corrected every month, that is good to know that this is now documented. Same for the TLS 1.3 support. It's actually, you can use it in any modern Siebel version. Depends because the browser supports it. no questions asked, and you can switch your AI to use it too. So that's possible in previous versions, but now it's officially documented. officially supported more or less. I don't know much about the certification in this case, which Siebel version exactly it is, but now it's documented in two guides actually, Security and Cloud Manager. And Cloud Manager even has instructions how to modify the server XML to do it for prior environments. And as you go beyond 23.11, your server XML file on the Tomcats will get updated. The connector section will include TLS v1.3. So that's the famous server XML update, happens every now and then, which is good. TLS 1.3, I looked it up, is a few years on the a few years in now, so it's not really exciting news. Okay, and if you run the MDE to update to 23.12, you will notice different behavior. There is a bug that has been fixed. That the bug actually claimed that customized files are getting lost during updates, which is true until 23.11. Has anybody of you lost any custom files, jar files, whatnot?
Oh yeah, every time I do a patch.
Every time you lose the jar files, and of course you do your own backup of that folder and you copy them back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so something like that. And now the MDE takes care of officially all customized files, but I found out with a friend, Alok, who's not here today, he had actually trouble because their log archive was several gigabytes.
Ooh.
And that took a long while. He noticed the MDE took a long while, and then even they reached a disk capacity. So because they had so many files in the log archive and very big files, and the disk on the VM wasn't very big. So beware of that. Maybe clean up that log archive before. It's probably stuff you don't need anyway, or you can archive it away to a different folder. So, and it seems to actually copy everything into that MDE backup folder. So that will grow significantly. But that's officially a bug fix. So
Cool.
fixed by copying everything. Okay. That's what you get. Anybody ran the update? 23.
I did, but I haven't played with it yet. We did put it in vanilla. I haven't put it in my other environments yet.
Oh, okay, so your folders were quite small and you didn't had any trouble with the copy?
No. Nope.
Okay. Let me just quickly check if somebody's in the waiting room. No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, that's my that's the usual bit I do every end of the year. Sorry, Nick.
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
I coughed.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's rehearse a little bit how WebTools is doing against Siebel tools. Of course, it's not a fight. They're both companions. But now the script capabilities, editor, debugger, profiler, are fully available in WebTools. Okay, that's a green box here. I can put here. Let's talk about the green boxes. So the workflow process editor, simulator, and task editor has been there for quite a while. You have the numbers here, 22.7 for tasks. Object wizards. Siebel Tools has around 20 wizards. WebTools now has 9 wizards. Okay, no, half of them. Getting closer. Maybe 2024 we see all the wizards in WebTools. By the time we do the last Siebel Friday of 2024, maybe 1 year from now. And then we have things that are only available in WebTools is the view preview feature that was introduced quite early. Can't remember the version number, 21 dot something. And that CIF import differences view, which is important when you run repository upgrade or run CDEF CLI driven CIF imports, you can use that view to analyze the differences. That's only available in WebTools. And recently, I think all of you are on the modern Siebel version, not concerned about upgrades. But if you're concerned about upgrades from pre-IP17, the upgrade conflict analysis view that was only available in Siebel Tools has made it into WebTools as part of the on-prem upgrade factory. So you can now use WebTools for that. So WebTools is slowly but steadily is gaining functionality here. So I'm curious, what's your preferred tools? Is it Siebel Tools, WebTools?
Depends on what I'm working on. Workflows, I tend to want to use Siebel tools.
Okay.
Yeah, the web
Scripting on bounce
tools,
back and forth. Scripting on
the
bounce
web
back and
tools.
forth.
Yeah, I think the workflow editor in web tools is kind of wonky.
Okay. Yeah, those arrows and stuff. Yeah.
Also, like the I guess we don't have any choice, but the applet editor in web tools is very tedious. And one thing that's really annoying is you can't like draw a box and select a bunch of things at once like you could.
Yes. So that's why it still has a limited
Okay.
flag here. It's available, and of course, it's not available in Siebel Tools. It has been
Yeah.
removed, and that's the applet layout editor. Yeah, if Kerry would be here, a product manager, he would probably write a chat message right now and say, "Yeah, we are on it." And
Yeah, they are, because that grid is a 4-column grid. It's not a grid at all.
yeah, the grid layout is really a table, a HTML table layout, like in
Yeah, it really sucks.
1997.
Yeah.
Okay, but we can fix it. OpenUI. I have demos out there how to fix it in DevPops, etc. Of course, it requires some OpenUI, JavaScript magic, and that's not everybody's piece of pie. I know that.
I haven't had time to play with that stuff yet.
Yeah, especially when you come to using Flex, CSS Flex box or CSS Grid, which is really CSS Grid would be the best option in my opinion. A Flexbox is cool because it's very responsive. So, but I guess that users are not constantly resizing the browser or using different monitors and devices. But who knows what's best? So Grid or Flex it is in CSS. I've done with both, and both yield great results. But of course you have to repaint your whole applet. Once it's rendered by the physical renderer, you have to put another rendering on top of that. That's the only way I can achieve it right now. Okay, so yeah, the very long story on the applet editor. Let's look at the list of Siebel Tools features that still are not available in WebTools as of today, which is a lot, but tiny little features that maybe also curious. We're a small group today, so have you ever used? Of course, you apply tables stuff. That's a must. You have to use Siebel Tools. Object comparison.
All the time. All the time.
It's something that I use a lot.
Yeah, the comparison thing seems to have kind of broken if you have like large objects. A lot of times it'll have like, it'll list both things on left and right, but it'll put them as if they're different from each other.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and
Yeah.
couldn't put my finger on it. Yeah, so sometimes it's really, especially if you have more than one object in the selection.
Yeah.
Or you compare workspaces. That there's this workspace comparison, which is really cool. But once the workspace has a lot of objects, it gets unwieldy, so gets confused. Yeah, I'm not reading the whole list, but synchronize, generate code for integration objects, business services, deploy as SOAP service. We have to say today because there's REST as well. The detail viewers. They're very cool on business component, view details. Or the screen, I have a screenshot here, that screen view sequence editor. Anybody ever used that?
No.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think I've ever used that.
Yeah, you can right click on the screen and then have that literally the home page layout is before you, and you can
Yeah.
use control. I think you can use drag and drop, but also control down arrow, move stuff around.
Oh,
And it recalculates that sequence number for any screen view. And for very big screens, it also tends to get confused.
I do use that search repository quite often.
Or
Yeah.
search, yeah, okay, search repository, yeah, that's a good one.
Use that a lot for trying to find out if a attribute's being used anywhere.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
dependency search, more or less. You search for any name and you find the references.
Yep.
Yeah, Siebel Tools had a lot of stuff. I mean, it's it's probably 30 years old. They started developing it probably 30 years ago. It has a lot of stuff. Okay, we talked about the workflow editor being more, let's say, more mature. That's a true word in Siebel Tools. It has properties for shapes. You can assign different colors for your business services and stuff.
That's always nice.
That's nice, especially to highlight, let's say, recent customizations or something. Yep. Yeah, it has a property window everywhere. Okay, can we please get a property window in WebTools? Okay, so yeah, that's just some observations. Of course, that's not a complete list, and it's not criticism in any way. If you watch this later, just talking to the future viewers here, I'm not criticizing Oracle for anything, just monitoring the progress that is definitely made. And also workspace support is, as of today, artifacts without workspace support, that is anything schema related is not within workspaces as of today, 23.12. So that includes tables, but also the more exotic schema related stuff, policy columns, assignment criteria, and the OpenUI manifest. It's in the repository, but not workspace managed. And then there's the non-repository stuff where nothing is workspace except list of values, to cut it short. Yeah. And so Oracle has announced in the statement of directions that there be more administrative data under workspaces and possibly files, such as OpenUI, JavaScript. And let's look out for 2024, what the next year will bring. Maybe some big changes here with the workspaces. Taking some bets.
I'm scared with the table in the workspace.
You're scared?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you scared?
Because now I don't know what my database really is and what it isn't, and how does it affect the database.
Yeah.
Usually what's in Siebel is if I've applied it, it's in my database. I don't know how a workspace is going to affect that.
Yeah, that's it. It's a bit of a tough nut to crack. I think it's you have to change the schema every time you switch a workspace, or
yeah, that to me is scary.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in our environments to a certain extent when you do the migration. There's almost always a schema change, so you have the schema service kicking in.
Yeah, but then the database still matches the.
Yeah, of course, the database still matches. Well, it matches exactly the schema of that main or integration workspace in dev. So it's certainly you could switch, but of course you could migrate a whole integration workspace with a different. Well, now no, it's the same schema right now, but it could have a different schema and would be translated. So maybe it works on the integration workspace level rather than the developer workspace level, like list of values does, right? It is on the integration workspace level.
Yes,
it's not
interesting.
It's not on developer workspace. It's, definitely. So maybe but we're just speculating here, and end of
Yep.
the year, end of the year speculation. So we don't know what Oracle has up their sleeves for 2024, but we will know soon. Okay, yeah, let's stop here for a moment. Let me check. I hope I'm not excluding anybody. By no, the waiting room is empty. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the next discussion I would like to start, or before I start the next discussion, is I have an update on related to the Siebel Hub training. So we'll briefly talking about that before we started with Nick. So if you look at the Siebel Hub, Siebel CRM training menu, if you look carefully, there's now a new Siebel scripting course. So that we announced it a few weeks ago. Let's dig in. And yeah, how's your scripting? How's your scripting knowledge with that? Means server side eScript. How would you rate yourself?
On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm maybe a 3.5.
Okay, that's pretty advanced. Okay, the other Nick,
I would say 10.
10. Oh wow, you're a 10
Yeah,
in
I
scripting.
mean, we've been doing. I mean, I started out on VB scripts before we even had eScript.
Yeah, okay.
It was like in the 90s because I started out on version 4. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that of course. Well, nothing for you to see here, probably. But this is a modern approach to learn scripting. If maybe you have a new hire on your project, or somebody who's not too comfortable with scripting, or makes a lot of mistakes, like not nullifying variables, not destroying them, causing memory leaks. And that is, we teach everything in this course. So of course, starting from scratch with what is Siebel scripting. It's not teaching eScript as a language, or eCMA script rather. So you have to have some, let's say, basics of programming, like what a for loop is, or an if block. And yeah, we go pretty deep in the advanced topic. Writing the advanced topics chapter was really fun because I could finally write a training chapter on all the nerdy stuff, CLib, C library, and SELib, and all that. Okay, and yeah, there's also a case study, which is a combination of OpenUI, but with the case study focuses on the server-side business service that supports the dashboard you do in OpenUI. So definitely complements the OpenUI training here. So that's available. So do check it out, or again, think of the people in your team who might need this training, or just spread the word. Thank you kindly. And the other course that is new, but not so new, is it's been renamed. So we called it the Siebel 23 Plus Workshop. And I just got tired of replacing the year number every year. Could have written a script, but it didn't make sense anymore, because the Siebel 23 Plus Workshop had 30 plus chapters. So it became very big and very costly, because the more chapters, the more, of course, we have on effort and you have to pay. So now we split it into roles. So there's now a separate curriculum for architects and administrators, one for developers, and one for application integrators. And on this page, you find an overview. Just clicking those buttons, you jump to the part of the page which is relevant. We have course introductions you can watch, and you can purchase the full course. Of course, now it's only 1/3 of the price of the workshop, because you have 1/3 of the content. And you can also purchase, we still continue the modular approach here. So you can purchase individual modules. Like, okay, I'm ready to learn about Siebel Cloud Manager. So we have a chapter on that, or in the integration part, we have the Kafka, just to point out a few latest additions over the past few months. So yeah, Siebel Hub learning experience is definitely proud. Richard and I are definitely proud to fulfill our always up-to-date promise, including Siebel 24. It's literally a few weeks, well, 2 weeks before this probably comes out. And so we're a few days away from Siebel 24, and once it's out, and if there's anything worthy of updating, it will get updated. So again, please spread the word and let everybody know that when you want modern, up-to-date Siebel training, it's available. We're very reasonably priced. That's another thing we're proud of. Okay. Any questions related to training? Any comments?
Like always, complete.
Okay, great. So yeah, last part for today is a bit of highlights of 2023. There is a video coming up. It's currently available for silver and gold members, but it's a special group today, so I'll just get quickly through a few highlights. Let's review Siebel 23 from 23.1. So of course, we have to mention when you talk about modern Siebel, is it going to die? Is Oracle pulling the plug? No, they're not. Premier support until, well, for another 11 years, no? December 2034. It's hard to spell even. And so that will be continued by next year. It will probably be 1 year after that. So because Oracle extends that date every year for 1 year. They have done so in the past few years. There's a statement of directions you find on Oracle support to read up on the plans for the future. And what has Oracle delivered in 2023, starting with integrations. So this is not by version number, it's sorted by area. So integration, we have Clinical 1 integration, and Oracle Field Service Cloud. So 2 official REST-driven integrations with very powerful cloud applications of Oracle. Then, of course, we have the Kafka integration with 23.6, the event publish subscribe. Very cool. Did anyone get their feet wet with Kafka?
Not I.
Sorry? No, there was a no?
Nope, not me.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Then let's get quickly over the exotic parts. And conscious of time, I don't really want to waste your weekend. Yeah, OCI, well, AI integration is all the rage. We had a lot of talks about AI, and there is the OCI AI tools that are available, like vision, document understanding, and Oracle shipped a new SDK that is actually the OCI SDK that you can download as well. But with 23.9, a new SDK is shipped with Siebel because the integration is driven by Java out of the box. If you do it on your own, you can use the SDK, write your own Java business service, or use REST, for example. I have demonstrated this on YouTube. There are a few videos out there. So you can enhance Siebel with the AI services that are available on OCI. And Oracle is soon, probably soon, they have announced it quite a while ago, will have a generative AI service called, there's a collaboration with a company called Cohere. And that generative AI, of course, is on an enterprise scale and enterprise security grade. That's something interesting. I was still waiting for the general availability. In the REST area, the REST API has a lot of attention from Oracle. There's constant updates, so good if you keep track. In 23.5, there was a lot happening with inbound data access control, basically setting a flag per business object. So you have to register each business object and then set the flag to yes, obviously, to give it access. And then you can associate the business object, you can associate it with an integration object using either the base integration object or any other integration object. Must be internal, must point to a business object, or none. Leave that empty. And that is actually then using dynamic integration objects, which were also introduced in May. Very, very cool feature. It generates the integration object definition, the XSD file actually, on the fly. Yeah, very cool. I tried it out several times. And yeah, it just works. So you don't need an integration object most of the times. Of course, if you want to do special stuff, you probably end up with your own custom integration object. You can now allow and disallow officially anonymous inbound REST. There's a flag now in modern Siebel versions. And 23.7, still on the REST API, you have CRUD support for, that is create, read, update, delete on hierarchies. So you can insert, update, and delete entire hierarchies. Delete is actually a two-step process. Delete the children first, then the parent. Okay, and the famous business service, it's a Siebel Friday classic. I think the first time it was ever mentioned, we had a session on it, and now it's now fully documented in 23.9 higher, including that PS to JSON method, which was not which is the last piece added to the documentation. So for the record, there is a full scale standard business service. It's a Java business service, so it's super fast, and it can convert JSON to property set and vice versa. And of course, it's behind the scenes. That's the major business service behind the scenes in the REST API. You can put it to good use. For that scripting course, actually, I used it for the performance measurement. So I compared it to an eScript business service that did JSON conversion. And there's an eScript business service on GitHub by a cool guy who wrote a good blog on Siebel. And that was eScript with JSON is like, I don't know, 10 to 100 times slower than Java. So definitely a superior business service. I'll skip test automation features. There have been some added in, almost a year ago. The automated object activation for incremental migrations from dev to test or prod, that has been added. Any experience with that? Since you're probably on 23 dot something and it's enabled by default.
Don't remember using it or how I used it, if I did.
Yeah, it's actually enabled by default, and I think it's 15 minutes. The 900 second sleep time. So every 15 minutes, the object manager, even for running sessions, polls the repository version more or less, or the workspace version of the main workspace, and then it reloads the cache. So even during a session, you could just have access to the new feature that was added. You don't have to log out and log in again. But it's rare if the users don't know about it, they just go about and use Siebel and they don't even notice. At best case, they don't notice. So that's again, it's a default setting now, and it's enabled by default unless you disable it. Let's skip that. The MDE, yeah, the MDE starting in July, MDE got a few updates, especially that restart services option. So now it no longer 23.12 of course too. It no longer if you uncheck the flag, tries to restart your Siebel services. And it did that especially before that version. It did that even before post-install database setup was finished. So it didn't make any sense. And that was fixed basically. And the further improvements, it retains most of the customizations in the, let's call it the control files of Tomcats, setenv, webxml, and the Windows settings, including the memory allocation, which was a pain on Windows when you did an update, and it always went back to default very unsuitable numbers for Siebel. I think 512K was the default memory pool. And so Siebel rather has the official minimum. I just read it up today, and the performance tuning guide is 4 gigabytes for literally any Tomcats. How your settings? Do you use the minimum 4, or do you go higher?
Yeah, I think we've been using 4 on Windows at least.
Okay. So Oracle recommends that for literally as the minimum, and then they have recommendations for medium to extreme loads, and 12 gigabytes is the number they have for extreme loads. But I've seen customers going up to 16 gigabytes. Depends on the load, of course, of the Tomcat and the thread settings and all that. Okay, but yeah, keep your Tomcat happy by giving it enough memory so it can roam free. It's not like Google Chrome, no? Yeah, Upgrade Factory was a great addition in 23.6. First delivered with Cloud Manager, so an OCI only. So you need an OCI tenancy to run that, and obviously copy your database over to OCI. And if you don't want that or don't have OCI, then 23.9 and higher has the similar capabilities, not the same, but similar capabilities as the on-prem Upgrade Factory. So good news for any customers who have not yet upgraded, which must be like below 10, or one would hope. But there are still a lot, I think a lot of projects out there below IP17. I don't have any numbers. Must be hundreds still. But you guys have done your upgrades, right?
Yeah, I have one previous customer I know hasn't done the upgrade, but I don't know what I think they're just going to try to run out the clock.
You mean they want to sit it out and see if Internet Explorer comes back, or?
I think that they intend on using something else besides Siebel, but then they've never gotten anything together about that because what they built is too complicated. So they haven't. Yeah.
May the Salesforce be with you.
Yeah, but even like they had problems even trying to use Salesforce. So I think who knows? It's
complicated. Complicated sometimes. Yeah, but okay, but good to know that even, let's say 7 years after IP17, yeah, is that correct? 17, 6 years. Well, almost 7 years in August next year. After IP17, Oracle still cares about the customers who have not yet upgraded, managed to do the upgrade, and is delivering these features, which make the development upgrade a little bit easier. And both tools are just concerned about upgrading the development database, by the way. That's the hard part. And not of course, it doesn't use AI to fix all the issues in the repository. Maybe later. Yeah, that's a minor issue, minor feature. Okay, Oracle Analytics 7 or 2023 is also called. It's now certified for quite a while with Siebel 23. There's the TLS support we just talked about. WebTools got a lot of features over the year. So just quick review. We now have change records. Yay. We have a tab order in the layout editor got an update. Not that it's completely fixed, but it has a tab order. Maybe you didn't know that.
That was a kind of cool new feature.
Yeah, I've just been setting it manually in the just by typing in the numbers in the app.
Yeah, the what was the HTML something property?
Yeah.
Can't remember. Yeah, so you could type the numbers manually, but it's cooler if you click the controls in the sequence you wanted to. Are people still using the tab key? Do they know what it does?
Oh yeah, we have well we have people that do a lot of data entry, so that's definitely a
so
big
that's
deal.
The boomer generation. Of course we know our keyboard shortcuts. Let's say the swipe the swipe generation, Gen Z. I don't think they know that what the tab key actually does, or in combination with other keys. Like I explained Alt Tab to a guy recently. He was flabbergasted. You can press Alt Tab and switch. You don't need 3 monitors. You can just use Alt Tab. Save the environment. Predefined queries came to WebTools. Favorites, which is similar to the bookmarks stuff in Siebel Tools, but different. So you can mark any record as a favorite, including child records, which is really cool, like a field in an integration component, which is a grandchild.
Yeah, but they need to come up with a better way to. You have to double click to get down to it. You got to find a quicker way to get to it.
You have. Sorry, I didn't get the first part. What you were saying.
It's cumbersome to get to the favorites. Too many clicks. It should be like a button on the top.
Yeah, DevPops has it. I added. I remember adding the button. It's just go to view literally. No, you could have a shortcut in your browser. It's just another view. Yeah. So yeah, going to that favorite view is you have to open tools menu, click favorites. Also adding to favorites is, yeah, it's working. So let's say it's working. And then there's this CIF attribute differences, which was a huge change for the repository upgrade. Because now the first time you saw exactly down to the properties level, what was the imported value versus the pre-existing value, you could change the decision. It's basically, it's no longer automatically delivering what it imports at repository upgrade. It's stopping after importing. And you have that developer workspace and you can work from that view.
Yeah, I had a meeting with the Carrie and a lot of the product managers for like CTMS, the clinical trial stuff, about the repository and the post install. It was a pretty interesting concept where they saw my issues because they can't I'm still on 17. I can't import any repository stuff because it overlays our custom work.
Yeah, so you have customized so much of the standard.
Yeah. So it was an interesting session.
So is there any solution on the horizon for you?
Well, they have my my repository there, so they're going to think about it. They know my pain points, so it's probably a year or so away. Who knows? But they know of it.
Okay, so yeah, I remember having this this conversation with you, Nick. Yeah, so it's especially customers who have customized a lot of standard objects, obviously, and
well, we implemented a lot of stuff that they afterwards implemented, like blinding and unblinding. We've had that since 2009. So
yeah,
to undo that, oh my God, it's a full year project.
Yeah, it's I can, yeah, it feels like it's a hard problem. Yeah, it's not going away really. And also the repository upgrade, I have customers who have been reluctant to do it, and now we are more than 3 years into that model of Oracle. So there are 36 plus CIF files waiting for you, and every month there's one added. So the longer you wait, the more stuff this will import if you never have done one, right? So that's really getting harder and harder every month. So,
I have to sometimes import special stuff just to get tools to work.
Yeah. So that's okay, but it's interesting where this will lead. Let's say in 2 or 3 years when we have 60, 70 plus CIF files. If you have
one other problem or thing that would be really helpful is if they showed the difference here between the two attributes. But one of the things I would also really like to know is what was the vanilla value, and because I keep having to set up a sample database environment just to go see what it was originally.
Okay, because you see your modification here. Yeah. Okay, what was the vanilla? That's interesting too. Yes, you have to run the import twice. Basically, you have to run it against the vanilla database. Yeah, to see that.
Yeah, well, what I've been doing is, how they added that thing where you can start up a sample DB with the containers. I think you did a.
Yeah. You can use the containers to quickly spin it up.
So that's what I do is I just set up one of those, and then that way I can just quickly compare in web tools with the other environment.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, the sample database is, let's say, easier than ever before since it has been decommissioned.
Yes. It's much easier now.
But you have to dive a little bit into containers. I have a video on YouTube how to create that one machine environment with the sample DB. It's fully documented in Bookshelf. So it's it's a good idea. And also I tried it at least once by accident. Actually, we imported, we did a batch import with CIF files, and the developer used siebdef, the Windows Siebel tools. And I said, why not try? They were on 23.9, I guess, at that time. Why not try siebdef CLI instead of siebdef? And we did, and it worked fine. And then going to that view with that developer workspace open, you also see the differences. But only if you use siebdef CLI. So it's basically built into siebdef CLI. And that's why I recommend, if you have any script using siebdef, try switching it to siebdef CLI, because that's like the more modern approach. It's headless Siebel tools. It runs on Linux. Of course, the Linux guys, they were very happy when it was introduced. The Windows guys, they don't know about it so much. Yeah, okay, interesting stuff here. That's the script profiler. We just talked about it. Let me stop sharing quickly on that. I saw Fernando, he signed off.
So you can run siebdef CLI in Linux?
Yes, that's actually was the big news, that now on Linux you have a Siebel Tools headless version running. That's used for when you run repository upgrade or post-install database update. It runs all the time. It runs all the nasty stuff, like applying table changes.
I use that a lot.
Yeah. So it's especially useful for Linux environments where you don't have Siebel tools, obviously. And it takes the same commands with a bit of a twist sometimes.
It's also faster on Linux than it is on Windows.
Yeah, because it's like a stripped down version of Siebel tools, of siebdef, I guess. It's leaner. I haven't seen the code, obviously, but I would hope so. Okay, we have the full list of wizards in 23.12. Starting with, I think it's chronological order. Web service was the first one. The SOAP and REST or WSDL JSON importer. And then, we got several others. And this year, I think we got all the others this year. So it's a growing list. You used a specific one in Web Tools already, or you still stick to Siebel tools with wizards?
I don't think we've tried that. Well, so we haven't, we're still on 23.2, so we haven't gotten all of these yet, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure enough. Fair enough. Yeah, not on 23.9 or 10. When was the last one? But the JSON import wizard is much better actually in Web Tools than in Siebel Tools. You have to do a cumbersome setup in Siebel Tools, and
Right,
file transport folders and whatnot, and CFG files. And in Siebel Web Tools, it just works. Okay, that we have discussed already. Okay, so I think we covered all the highlights. Not a complete list, so we have, of course, towards the end of this session, let me, where you will be watching, if you watch the replay, the Siebel Hub channel, and this we have this on the homepage, of course. We have the Siebel CRM updates, which is published every month. And so if you want to, let's say you're in 23.2, as you said, Nick, you can spend a few, probably an hour or so watching anything 23.3 and higher. And you get the full picture of what happened until 23.12. Of course, you could read up Bookshelf, but it's compiled, compressed information. That's the monthly updates are very popular, and we keep them shorter. Recently, I made them even shorter. Just 4 or 5 minutes. Of course, there's not much to tell in these versions. That helps. And then if you're interested in anything I mentioned, like DevPops, etc., look into the playlists, because I recently organized them. There's a full playlist for the REST API stuff, for OpenUI, installation update, and DevPops. And also in the code along, there's the OCI stuff I mentioned. Of course, YouTube has quite a clever search, so you can search for it and find a lot of video. We have currently 220 videos online, so it's from the last years when we started the channel. So I hope you enjoyed that information, and if anything to add, please feel free. It's been a very.
When did you start doing this for what version? I guess it must have been back in the 17 days or something.
The upgrade, sorry, the update summaries.
Or well, just like the Siebel Hub stuff in general.
Siebel Hub, I started blogging in 2008. I had my own blog.
Okay.
And then we merged 3 blogs together. There was Bruce Daly from the US, Richard Napier from the UK, and myself. And this goes back to 2004, literally. Bruce's blog started in 2004. So we are on the Siebel Hub blog site, and then the YouTube channel was coming along when we founded the Siebel Hub, but we didn't use it a lot, and I started using it the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's been helpful to kind of point out to the customers, what's changed.
Please
a little more
refer to it
than Oracle.
Yeah, of course it's nerd stuff. It's I can't help it. Okay, there's Nick coming again. I think he dropped off. Okay, okay, Nick, you're back. And so it's of course it's nerdy stuff, coding stuff, or no code stuff. Sometimes I do, and it's just I feel free to put out whatever I like until Oracle tells me not to, which they haven't so far. So must be doing something right. Okay. It's just a few minutes shy of the hour, and still Siebel Friday is open end. So if you want to discuss anything off record, happy to stop the recording and can have a chat or just say call it a day. What do you say?
Yeah, we've covered everything.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Nick.
I got to bounce for the doctor's appointment.
Sorry.
I'll catch you later.
Oh, your issue with the courses?
Oh, I'll check with you later. I gotta get to a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Then all the best. And yeah, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See you on the other side.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Talk to you later. Bye.